The breathing related to this practice, to the throat chakra, is the ujjayi breathing, okay? The ujjayi breathing is the one that you're told to do in pretty much all of the Ashtanga yoga and the Vinyasa yoga, okay? It's called the oceanic breathing because it makes the sound of the ocean. So we're gonna sit down on the block with the legs crossed in front of us, and we're gonna start sitting upright, engaging the core muscles from the root chakra, the abdomen, opening the chest, tucking the chin under, okay? So this way we're already keeping everything upright and we'll have the core muscles engaged. As I'm doing the ujjayi breathing, you're gonna start doing the breathing, and as you're doing the breathing, I'll explain the chakra to you, okay? The ujjayi breathing engages the back of your throat. So the way you want to start understanding how it works, you take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you're exhaling, you place your hand in front of you and you almost believe that your hand is a mirror and you're trying to fog the mirror. Now, on the next inhale, you still try to fog the mirror, but you're keeping your lips closed and you're letting the air out through the nose, okay? So, and try to lengthen the breath so it's the same length on the inhale as it is on the exhale. Count to the count of 4 and then try to aim to the count of 5, so you're also sort of doing the long breathing that affects the vagus nerve, okay? So you want to do once you know how the breath goes through the back of your throat, you also want to do the same sound on the inhale. So it sounds like this. Okay, so you're working on the ujjayi breathing as I'm explaining about the throat chakra. The throat chakra is situated on your throat, of course, and is in charge of the upper part of your back, the neck, the chin, the mouth, all the way to the ears, okay? So it's pretty much this area here, front and back, yeah? And the color associated with the throat is the color blue, but it's like a turquoise blue. It's not very deep. It's almost like a blue sky sort of blue, yeah? So for the purpose of this practice, imagine you've got a blue scarf wrapped around your neck, okay? And the throat chakra is associated, the emotional aspect is about being able to express and communicate, okay? So you're able to communicate well, to express yourself, but it's also about the capacity of listening to other people and taking other people's point of view. If the throat chakra is too closed, you're almost unable to speak up for yourself. So there's also that sensation of a plumb stone or something stuck on your throat because you're never able to let your thoughts and what you're thinking out. Bit shy, but also you need to remember that the communication is not only outward, it's also the communication you have inside your head, okay? So a bit destructive on your thoughts, again, not really confident, so always putting yourself down. If the throat chakra is too open, then you will be speaking too much all the time, overpowering conversations. It's almost like that friend that you've got that if you tell them that something happened to you, they will tell you that it's happened even more to them about 3 years ago and they don't listen to you, okay? So It's about overpowering other people, talking too much, but not listening very much and not taking things in. So it's almost also those people, I'm sure that you know, that no matter what you tell them, they never take it in and they always have got an excuse for what they're saying. Okay, that's the emotional part. A balanced throat chakra will have this balance of being able to express yourself quite well, but at the same time, as I said, taking a lot of other viewpoints in and being able to listen to people. So you haven't got that conversation where you're thinking about what you're going to say next. It's like a good flow of get back and forward from a conversation. Okay, physically, the throat is obviously going to involve things of the throat, but also upper back tension of the neck, problems with your mouth, your ears, repetitive infection. The throat chakra is connected with the hormone of the thyroid. The thyroid is situated here on the throat. The thyroid is in charge of the metabolism, so it's in charge of how the cells burn energy derived from food. Now that comes up in terms of regulating your body temperature, the heartbeat, the breathing, your nervous system, and also how you burn energy. So if somebody has problem with the thyroid, a hypothyroidism, so a non-functioning thyroid, you have a tendency of putting on weight, fatigue, depression, lethargy, so you're not able to really get out of bed very easily. An overactive thyroid, people are very anxious, they've got problems with getting very hot, hyperactivity, so you can see how that works with the metabolism, okay? The other thing that I wanted to say is, no, I think I will leave it here and then we'll take it from there, okay? So now come back to a normal breathing. With the Ujjayi breathing, you should be able to carry on the Ujjayi breathing throughout the class. Here's what I wanted to say. Because you've got the vagus nerve that you access through the throat, when you're doing the Ujjayi breathing, which is the breathing associated with this throat chakra, you're also affecting the vagus nerve, and this is how it pairs up with the nervous system. The vagus nerve is a nerve that starts from the neck and travels all around the body, innervating all the organs in the body. It's called vagus nerve because it's with the wandering nerve. And it's got the capacity of really relaxing the body. So it's the opposite of the fight and flight response. And you're basically able to really relax the body. So by doing the Ujjayi breathing on itself, you're already able to relax the body. But for the purpose of this class, we're really trying to connect with the throat chakra, okay? So if you're able to carry on with that breathing throughout the class, it will be really good, all right? So we're gonna do a little bit of warming up. So you're interlacing the fingers in front of you, stretch the arms, push the hands away from you, and then on the next inhale, you're bringing your hands up towards the ceiling, suck the belly in, roll the shoulders away from you, look forward. You're trying to straighten the arms as much as you can, sucking the belly in. And then on the next inhale, lift your left hand up towards the ceiling, right hand down towards the floor. On the next inhale, stretch the left side. On the exhale, bend the right elbow, leaning onto the right, looking towards your left armpit. All this nice long breathing with the Ujjayi breathing will do great wonders for your nervous system and for the throat chakra. On the next inhale, come back to the center, left hand by the block, right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, suck the belly in, stretch the right side. Exhale, lean towards your left, looking down towards your right armpit. Still sucking the belly in, grounding down through the sitting bones, really stretching the right side of the body. On the next inhale, come back to the center. Now, place your hands on top of so the fingers on top of the shoulders. Bring the elbows up. So we're trying to start warming up that throat chakra, okay? And then you just start swinging from one side to the other. Try to keep the elbows parallel to each other so they don't come here. And then, so you're basically moving from the torso rather than from the elbows and the shoulders. And try to breathe normally here. And then come back to the center. Now interlace the fingers in front of you and you're placing them just underneath the chin, okay? On the next inhale, you're bringing the elbows up, look up towards the ceiling. Don't push the chin up too much so that you're getting discomfort on the neck. And on the exhale, you're bringing the elbows together and you're trying to look down towards the floor. On the next inhale, push the chin up slightly, looking up towards the ceiling, elbows out. Exhale, bring the elbows together, looking down towards the floor. One more. Inhale, push the chin up, looking up. And exhale, bring the elbows together, looking down. Okay, so you're getting rid of the block. Coming on your fours. You're coming into your hands and knees, so the hands are directly underneath the shoulders, and the toes and the knees are directly underneath the hips. You're tucking your toes under, and then on the next inhale, you're pushing the hips up, looking down towards your feet, walking on the spot. So you can step your feet forward slightly. On the inhale, you're bending the right knee, transfer all the weight onto the left leg. On the exhale, you're bending the left knee, transfer the weight onto the right leg. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. One more here. And then on the next inhale, look towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you've reached the hands, keep your feet hip-width apart. Big toes are slightly tucked in. Grab hold of the opposite elbow, bend the knees. Inhale, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, you're folding forward, let go of the head. Now the most important part is that you're letting go of the upper part of your torso and the head is pointing down towards the floor. Then you're worrying if you want to straighten the legs or not. Now nod your head a couple of times, turn your head right and left, and then bring your body towards the right leg and then towards the left. And then very gently bring your body back to the center of the body. Let go of the hands on the mat. Tuck your toes up, tuck your chin under, bend the knees, and on the exhale, you're coming up into a standing position. Head last to come up. Come to the top of the mat with the big toes touching. And first of all, we're going to do a couple of exercises on the neck, okay? So you try to do the mountain pose. So your feet together, you're placing the weight into the middle of your feet. Pull the kneecaps up so you're engaging the front of the thighs. Tuck your pelvis under, suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck the chin under. As we are here, so you're bringing your arms to the sides with the fingers pointing down towards the toes. And then you're starting looking down towards the floor, looking up towards the ceiling. Look straight ahead, look towards your right, look towards your left. Look straight ahead. We're gonna do it one more time. Look down towards the floor, looking up towards the ceiling. Look straight ahead, look towards your right and your left, and coming straight ahead. Try to bring the ear towards the shoulder. Come back to the center, left here towards the left shoulder, not bringing up the shoulder. And then you're turning the chin towards the right shoulder, and then you're dropping the chin down to the chest, making a semicircle until you're coming up to the left shoulder. And then you're gonna do it on the other side. And then the second time you're gonna do it much slower. When you get to a point where you've got tension on the shoulders, stay there, use the weight of the head to relax that part of the neck, to stretch it more likely. roll your shoulders back and really allow that area to stretch. And then you just continue until you get into another spot and you do the same. And then once you've reached the left shoulder, then we're going to go back on towards the right. Again, using the same thing. When you get to a point where you got pain, roll the shoulders back, allow the head to drop. So you're giving yourself one long last stretch. And when you reach the right shoulder, you're coming back with the head into the center. We're going to do two sun salutations. Now the emphasis on the sun salutations for the throat chakra is that we're going to keep a few breaths into this position with the hands up. Eventually you want to get to the point where you're looking up towards the ceiling, and the cobra, okay? With the cobra, there's two versions. The easier version is that once you're here and you're bringing yourself down, you're bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, palm pressing up towards the floor, and you're pushing the chest forward, slightly looking up, so that that is what's going to stretch the throat chakra, okay? Looking slightly up. If you're doing the full cobra, you're pushing your body through the hands are underneath the shoulders, you're looking up, opening and stretching that throat chakra, okay? So come to the top of the mat as you were here, hands in front of your chest. Start with the ujjayi breathing. On the next inhale, you're bringing your hands up towards the ceiling. We're gonna be staying here for an inhale and an exhale. So exhale here, inhale here, looking up towards the ceiling. On the next exhale, you're folding forward at the hips, placing your hands on the shin, the ankle, or the mat. On the next inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands on the mat, bend the knees, step the right leg out into a lunge, left leg to meet it into a plank. Set the plank by pushing the heels away from you, pull the kneecaps up, squeeze the glutes, suck the belly in, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, knees to the floor. Leading with the chest, you're bringing your chest down to the floor, rubbing the elbows down through the sides and top of the feet on the mat. Now your choice of your cobra, you can bring your elbows underneath the shoulders, or you can come up a little bit up. Now the thing that you want to focus on is pushing the chest forward, looking up slightly. And then on the next exhale, tuck your toes under, come into your hands and knees, bring the seat towards your heels, and you're coming up into a downward dog, stepping your feet forward slightly so that you can bring the heels down towards the floor, aiming to bring the heels down onto the floor and keeping the legs as straight as you can. Now tuck your chin under slightly, so you're really feeling that sort of stretching or tension onto the throat chakra. Ujjayi breathing, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you reach the hands, keep your feet together. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, you're coming up a little bit, suck the belly in, engage the core. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Stay here for a second, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands by your sides. We're gonna do one more. Inhale, this time you're coming with the hands up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers, push the palms up towards the ceiling. 3. Looking up towards the ceiling, 2 and 1. On the next inhale, stretch the front of the body. On the exhale, you're folding forward at the hips. Place your hands on the shin, the ankle, or the mat. On the next inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat, add a step or jump into a plank. On the next inhale, set the plank. On the exhale, add a low plank, or knees to the floor like the previous one. From here, either up dog or the mini cobra. Roll the shoulders away from you, look forward. If you can, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, tuck your toes under, downward dog. Stepping your feet forward. Focus on the upper torso, hands as wide as the shoulders. Roll your shoulders away from you, squeeze the shoulder blades together, pushing your hands away from you, so you're trying to bring the torso towards the thighs. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Ujjayi breathing here. Remember, you're wearing this blue scarf around your neck, activating this blue color on the throat chakra. And then on the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands, either step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Okay, everybody? So, come to the top of the mat, big toes are touching, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the right foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat. The right leg, which is the one at the back, is straight. You're bending the front leg. We're gonna do a grab hold of the block, and either you place it on the outside of the foot, so on the outside of the left foot, and they have got 3 versions here. You're either placing your forearm just above the left knee, turn the torso towards the side, bringing your arm all the way around, looking up towards the ceiling or looking towards your right hand, okay? Otherwise, you're placing your hand on the block or directly on the floor, hand on the hip, turn the torso towards your right, bringing your hand all the way around. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And engage with the Ujjayi breathing. On the next inhale, looking down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Bring the block to the outside of the right foot. Hands on the hips, you're stepping with the left foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. And then keeping that left leg straight, you're bending the front leg, and again, either the right forearm just above the right knee, turning the torso towards your left, bringing your arm all the way around, or the hand on the block or directly on the mat, turning the torso towards your left, bringing your hand all the way around so that the palms are facing up towards facing down towards the floor, and you're either looking up towards the ceiling or towards your left hand. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Remember this nice blue scarf you're wearing around the neck, using your Ujjayi breathing to activate this throat chakra. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. So with this chakra, there isn't that many poses that are unique to this chakra, okay? So it seems like a general class that we're doing, but again, if you're focusing on the throat chakra and you're finding that it connects with the pose, then you're activating that chakra, okay? So hands on the hips, we're gonna do triangle pose. On the next inhale, you're coming down 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat, keeping both legs straight. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, leaning towards the front leg, hand on the shin or on the inside of the ankle. Right hand up towards the ceiling, palms facing away from you. You're lengthening the left side of the rib cage. On the inhale, on the exhale, you're turning the torso towards your right, looking either straight ahead or towards your right hand. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Pulling on those kneecaps so you're keeping the legs straight. Engaging with the Ujjayi breathing. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips. We're gonna turn around to do it the other side. So position your feet so that your left foot is now at the back of the mat and is turning towards the top left corner of the mat. Okay? On the next inhale, pull the kneecaps up, hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, you're leaning forward, hand on the shin or on the inside of the ankle, left hand up towards the ceiling. Lengthening the underside of your rib cage, so the right side of your rib cage on the inhale. On the exhale, turning the torso towards your left, looking up towards the ceiling. Tucking the chin slightly under, so you're feeling that slight contraction of the throat. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. So by now you should be quite aware of all the different components of this pose, because it's pretty much we've done it on every chakra. And then on the next inhale, looking down towards the floor. Exhale, bringing your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you're stepping to the back of the mat. So give yourself a little bit of a shake. And we're gonna do warrior 1, okay? Again, with the warrior 1, as you're looking up, you're gonna feel the engagement of the throat chakra, okay? So I'm gonna explain to you and then how to activate this throat chakra. So start with the feet hip width apart. As you're stepping back with the right foot, you're trying to maintain that distance between the back and the front foot, okay? You're turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat, and you want to have the right foot further out than the front, okay? Now the right leg stays straight, the heel is down onto the floor. On the next inhale, square the hips towards the front and bend the front leg, but you still want to see the big toe, so the left knee doesn't come in, it goes out, you're guiding it out. And now you want to sit in between the two legs, so you're not leaning forward, and then you're bringing your hands up towards the ceiling on the inhale. Roll the shoulders away from you. From looking forward, you're now gently starting to look up towards the ceiling. So you're feeling a nice gentle stretch onto the lower part of your right back. And you're also tensing up your core muscles by pulling the belly button towards the spine. And as you're looking up towards the ceiling, you're feeling this gentle stretching of the front of the throat. Imagine you're wearing this blue scarf and you're already doing the Ujjayi breathing. Even if you're doing it for the next couple of breaths, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look straight ahead, place your hands on the hips, and you're stepping to the front of the mat. We're gonna do it on the other side. Start with the feet hip width apart, step with your left foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Left leg is straight, heel is on the floor. On the next inhale, you're bending the right knee. You still want to see the big toes. Sitting between the legs so you're not leaning forward. And then on the next inhale, suck the belly in, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Roll your shoulders away from you, look forward. And even if you can just look up with your eyes towards the ceiling, Just doing that slight upward movement, so you're feeling that the front of the throat is slightly stretched. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Feeling that nice little stretch onto your left lower back. Sucking the belly in. Wearing that beautiful blue scarf. One long last breath here. Do the Ujjayi breathing for this breath. And then on the next inhale, looking straight ahead, hands on the hips, and you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch. Shake. Start with the feet together. Stepping with your right foot halfway down the mat. So we've got a shorter stance than before. And then step your right foot out so you can square the hips towards the front. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, interlace the fingers. Well, either you do an inverted prayer behind your back or you grab hold of the opposite elbow. Whichever version you're doing, you're trying to push the elbows away from you, or you're pressing the palms together so that the elbows come slightly away from the body. Okay, so now we're going to do it slightly different with the throat. So we're tucking the chin under, sucking the belly in on the inhale. On the exhale, you're folding forward at the hips. So you still want to have this core muscle engaged, pulling the left hip back, trying to bring the torso towards the middle of the left leg, tucking the chin under. So this time you're feeling a slight constriction of the throat. Focus on the throat as much as everything else that you're doing with this pose. Ujjayi breathing here. Press the hands together if you've got the inverted prayer. Push the elbows away from you, opening that chest. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. Place your hands on the hips and you step into the front of the mat. We're going to do it on the other side. Actually, we start with the feet hip-width apart. So when you're stepping back, you're already in position to square the hips, okay? So step back halfway down. You've got to have your left foot slightly to the side of the front and pointing the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Pushing that right hip back, pulling the kneecaps up. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Either grab hold of the opposite elbow or inverted prayer behind your back. On the next inhale, suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck that chin under, push the elbows away from you, and exhale, you're folding forward at the hips. When you feel like your abdominals are starting to go, stop there, tuck the chin under. So you're tucking the chin under, but with your eyes, you're looking towards your feet. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Beautiful blue scarf around your neck. Doing that Ujjayi breathing. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. Place your hands on the hips and step to the front of the mat. Some pigeons are doing some sort of damage in my garden. The heck? Okay, so now we're gonna step from the front. We're gonna take a wide step to the sides of the mat, okay? And we're having the edges of the feet parallel with the edges of the mat. So the big toes are slightly turned in. Hands on the hips to start with. And then you're placing the weight of your body onto the edges of the feet. So you're lifting the inside of your arches. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, you're interlacing the fingers behind your back. Roll the shoulders away from you, squeeze the shoulder blades together. On the next inhale, open the chest, and on the exhale, you're folding forward, trying to bring the head towards the mat and bringing the hands over your head. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. Place your hands on the hips, bring the heels towards the center, toes towards the center, heels towards the center, and you step into the front of the mat. We're gonna do the balancing pose, which is the eagle pose, okay? And we're gonna try to fold forward. Now, if you have, so this is what it looks like, okay? Pretty much like this, and you're folding forward, okay? Now, if you found that you had problems with this pose before with the balance, because we're focusing on this area, what I want you to do, I want you to come into this position where you're stepping the right foot back, and then you're bringing the elbows in front of you, the hands in front of you, left elbow in front of, on top of the right arm, wrapping the arms around, and then tucking the chin under, and folding forward. So you're bending the front leg and you're folding forward, okay? So this is how you're doing it, with the hands forward, left arm over the right upper arm, wrapping them around. If you cannot do that, one elbow on top of the other, grab hold of the shoulders, and then lift the elbows up, tuck the chin under, bending forward, okay? Otherwise, if you want to do the balancing pose, you're balancing onto the left leg, tiptoes of the right. Bring your arms forward, left arm over the right, above the elbow, wrapping them around. Otherwise, you're placing the left elbow on top of the right, grabbing hold of the shoulders, lift the elbows up, and then now you're bending the left leg, lifting your right leg up, one knee on top of the other, and then if you can, you're folding forward. Oops. Use the Ujjayi breathing. One long last breath here. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. First, undo the legs, and then you undo the arms. And then, if you want to do it by standing, you're stepping the left foot back, bending the front leg, arms forward, right arm over the left, and you're bringing the elbows forward. Otherwise, you're balancing onto the right leg, tiptoes of the left, arms forward, right arm over the left, above the elbow, wrapping them around, lift the elbows up, and then you're bending the right leg as you're placing the left knee over the right knee. And then if you can, you're folding forward. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. One long last breath here, and then on the next inhale, come all the way up. First undo the legs, and then you undo the arms. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. And then we're coming onto the floor. Now we're going to do the camel pose. So I suggest that you might want to have a pillow where you're kneeling onto. Otherwise, you can double the mat. Place your knees onto the pillow. Have your knees hip width apart. Big toes are slightly tucked in. You're bringing your hands behind your back so that the fingers are pointing up towards the ceiling, okay? So this way. Pushing the elbows back so you're really opening the chest. This time we're focusing on the throat, okay? So you only want to do a little bit of a back bend because we're gonna do the bridge afterwards, okay? So on the next inhale, push the hips forward, slide the hands up, as you're starting to look up towards the ceiling. You can do as much as a back bend as you want. Pushing the hips forward, sliding the hands upwards, and then on the next inhale, come up, sit on your heels. You can release the feet if you want to. Place one hand on the chest, the other one in the lower abdomen. Stay here for a breath or two. And we're going to do it one more time. So if you want to go further with this, you're placing your top of the feet on the mat. You're placing your right hand on the right heel, left hand on the left heel. Push the hips forward, looking up towards the ceiling, or releasing the head. I cannot do it because my neck is hurting. And then to come out of the pose, you're pushing the hips forward. Otherwise, you repeat what you've just done on the previous pose. And then on the next inhale, coming back down. Get rid of the pillow for a second and come into child pose. So you're sitting on your heels, you're leaning forward, torso on the thighs, forehead onto the floor. And then on the next inhale, you're coming into your hands and knees. Have the feet as wide as the knees, so the knees are hip width apart. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. We're going to do the cat and the cow, okay? So on the next inhale, you're looking forward, curve the back towards the floor. You're really looking up, so you're stretching the throat. On the exhale, you're curving the back towards the ceiling, looking down towards your knees, tucking the chin under, so you're contracting the throat, pushing the hips towards the hands. Inhale, look forward, curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out, you're starting to look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, curve the back towards the ceiling, chin to chest, pushing the bum towards your hands. One more. Inhale, look forward, curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out. And exhale, curve the back towards the ceiling, looking down towards your knees. And on the next inhale, you're coming back, sitting on the heels. What we're gonna do now is called the lion's breath, okay? I am so glad I'm not in the class doing this because everybody will be so embarrassed. Try to give it your best go, okay? Nobody's gonna see you. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like first, okay? You're having the feet together, the knees as wide as you can, and you're sitting on your heels, okay? If you're finding this difficult, this is the time to use the pillows and sitting on the pillows, okay? Now, hands forward, and then you're turning the hands so that the fingers are pointing towards your body and the other one around. If you cannot do that, you're basically keeping your hands with the fingers pointing forward, okay? Then you're moving the hands so that they're quite close to your body, inside the knees, okay? And then on the next inhale, you're taking a deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out, you're letting your tongue out and you're looking up towards the third eye. We're gonna do 3, okay? Okay, so let's get into position. So you've got your toes together, knees out wide as the mat. You're sitting on your heels. If you're finding that difficult, grab the pillow and you're placing it between the heels and your bum, okay? Hands forward, you're rotating the right hand out so that the fingers are pointing towards the body, and you're rotating the left fingers so that they're pointing towards the body. Now bring the hands towards you so that they are inside the knees. If you cannot turn the hands, just keep them forward. And now on the next inhale, take a deep breath in through the nose. Stuck your tongue out. One more. Tongue out, looking up towards your third eye. Last one, give it all your go. Inhaling to the count of 5 and then exhaling, tongue out, looking up towards the ceiling or the eyebrows. And then releasing the pose. Get rid of the pillow. Sit either side of the feet so that you can bring your legs forward. Okay, legs straight. Toes pointing up towards the ceiling, release the flesh away from the buttocks, and you can use a block underneath your bum to help you keep up straight, okay? So you've got your hands either side of the bum with the fingers pointing towards the toes, elbows slightly bent, rolling towards the back so that you can open the chest. Pointing the toes up, working on engaging the core muscle from the root chakra all the way up. So you're clenching your bum hole, sucking the belly in, opening the chest, tucking the chin under. You can close your eyes if you want to as you're staying in this position, re-engaging with the Ujjayi breathing. Imagine the blue scarf wrap around your neck, and then now long breaths, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5, recreating this ocean breath or ocean sound. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Look up at the hands, suck the belly in, exhale, you're folding forward at the hips, placing your hands on the shin, the ankle or the mat. And then sucking the belly in on the inhale, tuck your chin under, and on the exhale, pressing the knees down onto the floor. You're sort of pulling on the hands wherever they are on the legs, bringing the torso towards the thighs. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. We're going to do the reverse plank, okay? So you're placing your hands about a handbreadth away from the buttocks with the fingers pointing towards the toes. The easier version is to bend the knees, placing the feet onto the floor and then pushing the hips up. Now you can safely look down towards the knees, but to activate the throat chakra, you're either looking up towards the ceiling or releasing the head down, but I cannot do it because my neck is hurting too much from my accident. So I'm just gonna look up towards the ceiling. Otherwise, if you want the more advanced version, you're keeping your legs straight, and as you're lifting the hips up, you're trying to bring the toes down towards the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Push the hips up, and then exhale. You're releasing the bum down onto the floor. Relaxing yourself, and then make sure you're in the middle of the mat. Bend the knees and place your hands in front of your knees and roll back onto your mat. Hugging the knees to the chest. We're gonna do one bridge. So we're gonna bring the feet as close as we can towards the hips, hip width apart, big toes are slightly tucked in. Press your hands down onto the mat, and then on the next inhale, tucking your pelvis under. So the first thing that you do is sucking the belly in, tucking the pelvis under, lifting the bum off the floor. If you're already finding this difficult, this is as much as you want to do, but you're tucking the chin under and then you're pushing the hips up. If you're comfortable here, making sure the knees are pointing towards the back of you so they're not coming out to the side. You can interlace the fingers behind your back, shuffle to the top of your shoulder, tucking your chin under, pushing the hips up. So you're feeling the slight contraction onto your throat as you're tucking the chin under and pushing on the shoulder so that you're pushing the hips up. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, release the hands, bring the bum down towards the floor, back down onto the mat, hugging the knees to the chest. Okay, so now, and this is pretty much unique for the throat chakra, is the shoulder stand, okay? So if you've done the shoulder stand before, go on the shoulder stand with 10 breaths up. If you want to do an easier version of the shoulder stand, you can use the pillow on your shoulders and you're bringing yourself onto the wall. Have your pillow and you're trying to bring your legs up towards the wall, trying to touch with your bum the wall, okay? At this point, you can put the pillow underneath the shoulders and underneath the head so that they're supporting each other. And then you're bending the feet, the knees, so that the feet are on the wall, pushing yourself up. You shuffle yourself to the top of your shoulders, supporting your lower back. And then you can lift one leg up if you want to, and then the other leg. Okay? And then you're bringing yourself down. If you don't want to lift one leg up or both legs, you're just bringing one leg up, then you're placing it on the wall, and then the other one, okay? If you want to do it on the wall, off the wall, you're gonna roll yourself onto your back, bringing your legs over your head. If they touch the floor, then you shuffle to the top of your shoulders, support your lower back, bring one leg up, then the other, walking your hands up the back, hips towards you, legs away from you, trying to keep as upright as you can, looking up towards your toes. Count of 10 here. Once you've done with the count of 10, then you're bringing your legs over your head. If they touch the floor, you can undo your, interlace the fingers behind your back. Otherwise, you keep on supporting your lower back. First, the legs are straight, and then you can bend the knees to place them on top of your forehead or around your ears. And then rolling yourself back down onto the floor, and you're coming into the fish pose. So carry on with whatever position you want to do. Once you've done 10 breaths with the feet up, then you're coming back down. I'm just gonna have a look at you and see where you are. Okay, so start coming out of the pose, rolling yourself back down, and then we're gonna do the last pose, which is the fish pose, which again is unique to this throat chakra, okay? So you've got your legs straight, so starting to come out of the pose of the shoulder stand, lie down onto the floor with the legs straight ahead and the toes pointing away from you. You're lying on your forearms, and then you're starting to slide the forearms away from you so that you can puff up the chest and release the top of the head down onto the floor. So you're trying to bring the chest up to come out of the pose. You're tucking the chin under and you're releasing yourself back down onto the floor. Stay only 1 or 2 breaths in this position, and then come out of the pose by tucking the chin under, releasing yourself into Shavasana, which is the last pose. We're going to do a bit of meditation. So you're lying on the mat, relaxing yourself onto the mat, feet as wide as the mat, tucking your pelvis under, rolling your shoulders away from you, hands pointing up towards the ceiling, tucking your chin under so your neck is nice and long. You can bend the knees, having the feet onto the mat, as wide as the mat, and supporting the knees with each other. Or you can also place a pillow underneath the knees and underneath the head for comfort. And now we're just going to relax first, and then we're going to focus a little bit into that throat chakra, okay? So relax the feet, relax the ankles, relax your shins, relax your calves, relax your knee joints, relax the back of the thighs, relax the front of your thighs. Relax your hip joints. From the hips, you're traveling all across the hips and the glutes into the middle of your bum cheeks. And from there, you're coming under and over your reproductive organs into the pelvic area, relaxing your whole pelvic area. And now you're relaxing the lower abdomen, so the area between the pelvis and the belly button, and your upper abdomen, so the area between the belly button and the rib cage. Coming up into the chest, the breast, relaxing the chest bone, coming up to your clavicles, the top of your shoulders, and now coming over the top of the shoulders into the back, relaxing the space in between the shoulder blades, relaxing the shoulder blades, and going down the back, either side of the spine, into the middle of your back, relaxing the lower back, all the way down into the coccyx and the sitting bones, coming back into the hips and going into the sides, all the way up from the waist into the armpit, relaxing the sides of the body. And now you're relaxing your shoulder joint, relaxing your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and your hands. Coming to the top of the shoulders, relax the back of the neck, and relax the front of the neck. Relax your chin, relax your lower jaw, relax your mouth, your upper lip, relax your cheeks, your nose, your eye sockets, your temples, your forehead, the whole of the scalp and the skull. Coming back into the throat area, I want you to imagine a bright ball of blue light starting from the center of your throat and then going all the way up to the chin and the ears and all the way to the top of your shoulders. Imagine this bright ball of blue light really shining through the whole of your throat, the lower jaw, the ears, and the upper back part of the back. And now just repeat to yourself this: I am speaking the truth, I can express myself, and I can speak out for myself. I speak the truth, I can express myself, I can speak out for myself. And now very gently start bringing the awareness back to the rest of the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and just sigh out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your fingers. And then very gently, you can give yourself one long last stretch by bringing the legs together and your arms over your head. Tense up the body and then release it, hugging one knee at a time towards the chest. And then you either rock back and forward until you're coming up into a cross-legged position onto the mat, or you're rolling yourself onto the right side, pushing yourself up so that you're coming into a cross-legged position onto the mat. Place your hands in front of your chest, close your eyes, and just thank yourself for allowing your time to practice today. Thank you very much, and I might see you next week. Thank you.